What's up, everybody? Today, to start off this video, I think we're just going to look at the game from the beginning, and then we will go on to creating our final level 8. So this is what it looks like, and this is explaining, he comes and he takes her away, and then we run and we chase after him. He runs away, and he puts down these magical stars, blocking our way. Then as soon as there's this magic arrow that appears, and then we go under the water so we can follow him, and then there's this magic teleporter, and then we got to use the crab's help to get by. They cut the vines for us, and then it teleports us over to the desert so we can go to his home and get our friend back. First, we have to help this lizard get his flies off these cactuses, so he opens the way for us. And this is just a cutscene telling you what's going on. So now we're in a very hot part of our desert. As you can see, the heat gauge is going down. We got to rest in our puddles to make sure we don't overheat because he's a turtle. He's used to being in water, not the desert. So now that we have our key, we'll go ahead and teleport to the next level. And now that we're on our way up the mountain where he left another portal. So collect our key. Make sure not to get hit by these rocks. And then we teleport to this. This is his cavern. So we're at the beginning of his fortress. So we'll go ahead and open up these gates to get our button so we can collect our key. So as soon as we collect our key, we can open up his lock that he has on his room. And now we will teleport to his room, which is going to be a 2-part level. So in order for me to do that, instead of just doing a function like we have done, our play function, instead of play level 7 as a function, this is just going to be a class. So we can do a little bit more with it than a function. So we're going to call this class level _8, and we need to make this pygame dot sprite. And then for this, we just need to initialize it, which is always the init method, the dunder method of init. And then we are going to initialize ourselves. And then we need to know if it's in room 1 or if it's in room number 2. And then we need to go our superclass init, our init method. And then we need to go self.room 1 is equal to room 1. Self.room 2 is equal to, not minus, is equal to room 2. And now we want to know what backgrounds we are going to be loading for these rooms. So a quick way I learned how to do this is with self.image. We're going to call this image 1 because we're going to need a second image for the other room. These are just backgrounds, so they don't necessarily need coordinates or anything, but we need pygame.sprite, just like normal. We go pygame.image.load, and instead of typing in the whole thing, we're just going to type in join, and then we have it in the folder called other pictures. So we just need to tell it it's in other pictures, and it is called level 8 _ bg.png is what that is looking for. So this just tells it, instead of me having to type out my whole path, it tells the operating system, and then these 2 files added to it is the path, and it's just much quicker and cleaner looking. So now that we have all that defined, we need 4 things. We're going to need to have a function that changes the rooms. So it's going to need self, and it's going to need to know where the player is at. So we'll just put pass now, and we need to have an underscore there. We can't have empty space. So we'll just pass that for now. And then we will need a function for the starting room, just like we did our other draw functions. This is going to be our draw now, so it is just going to need self currently until we add other into it. And then we will want to know what the boss room looks like. And then we are going to need a way to put it all together on this screen. So then we will need to be able to draw on our screen. So that is all we will need to start making our class for our level 8 at first. And once again, this is going to be better so we can switch back and forth between the screens and have it a little bit bigger of a level since it is our last one for this project. So the first thing I want to do is know when I am changing rooms. So we're going to go if player.rect.x is greater than our width, greater than or equal to our, no, we're not gonna make it equal. We'll just say if it's greater than width, or if our player.rect.x is less than 0. We want to go self.room 1. We're going to subtract 1 from that, and I'll show you why in a moment. And then we want to go self.room, and then we want to add 2. Wait, okay, hold on. So let's go ahead and read this back. So if we got changing rooms, our player rect is greater than the width, we want it to add a room because that we want it to tell it that we are going to room 2. So why is this not happy? Oh, because I forgot to put if our player.rect x is greater than the width, we want to go subtract self.room -1 and then self.room +1. So that will, it knows that we left room 1 and then we went into room 2. But we want to make sure it does not go under 0. So if it is less than or equal to 0, self.room 1 is equal to 0. And then same with this, if self, we don't want it to go overrun. So if it is greater than or equal to 1, then we want to make sure that stays at 1. Sorry about that. So we want to make sure it stays at 1. So up here, we're going to make sure that they know that this has to be an integer, so they don't put anything in there. So it is. So now on our level 8, we got it from one room, from room 1 to room 2. So now we go ahead and go if our player dot rect dot x is less than 0. We want to do the opposite. We want to go self dot room plus equal 1. So instead of retyping that all out, we can basically go ahead and copy and paste this. We will just change a few of the numbers. So this top one is going to be 2, and this bottom one is going to be 1. And did I spell it wrong up here? No. Self.room, self.room. Okay, so this should be enough for us to switch back and forth between rooms. So it's telling us if we're all the way over on this screen, it wants to subtract our room 1 and make it 0, and then it will make room 2 1, and then vice versa. If we go back this way, it is going to make our room 2 back to 0, and then our room 2 1. So down here, just to see if this is working the way I'm wanting it to, we're going to go if self room 1 is equal to 1 and self room 2 is equal to 0, then we want to go screen dot, for now, since, well, I guess we do have the 1, we can go screen dot blit our self dot image 1, and we just want this at 0 and 0, the top of our screen. And if self dot room 2 is equal to 1 and self dot room 1 is equal to 0, we will fill it with the other one, but for now we're just going to fill that with red. And before I forget, we need to put this self.change rooms, and we need to have our player in there. So on our draw function, we need to add our player class. This is going to put our turtle in there. So now when it draws, it will know if it changed. So under here in our functions, we are going to make a one that is play level 8, and then this is going to take screen and keys and player. No, I don't think it needs to take player. We'll see. So just screen and keys for now. So we can get our normal stuff from up here. We want our turtle. And we want to draw him over. So we will go our MC level 8. And then dot draw. And this is going to take so wait. Weird. Okay, so we just need the screen. Oops. Okay. I know why it's doing that, because we forgot to make, so we need to say level 8 is equal to level 8, and then we need to start off in room 1 and then 0. There we go. That's better. So now we can go mc.level 8 dot draw, and we just need our screen, and then we need our turtle. So if we go over here to our test environment and we say if MC Turtle is level 8, we go ahead and mf.play level 8. And for that, we need our screen and keys. Let's go ahead and test this to see what it looks like. See, so now we can move. It brings up our screen. And if I did it right, oh, okay, I know what I did wrong. So we need if, and we're going to say minus 64, or is less than 10. So now with that, what was going on there is because under my move function for my turtle, I have it so it can't go off the screen. It's locked onto the screen, so the way we had it wasn't going to work. That's why it just stopped at the edge of the screen. So now if we call it again, it should has no attribute room. Did I? So let's click on this. So there it is. If this is supposed to be 2. Okay. So now, see, we'll just have to make it so it teleports us. So once again, okay, well, we got one part of it right. So, and then if rect is, we're just going to make this 64, see if that will work. And just to see if this is working. So we got this, and then he appears over there. And now, as you can see, we can switch between our rooms. So that is working the way I want it. And over here, okay, so if we are going this direction, we need our self at the very end of this. And this if statement, we need to make our player dot rect dot x equal to, where are we gonna be? Back at, we'll say 70. That way we can, okay, and then if we're on this side, we needed to make it be width minus 70. So player dot rect dot x is equal to width minus 70. Okay, now if we test that, we should not go so far off the screen. So it looks like we are just switching screens. Okay, that is working the way I want it to. So now we can make our level 8 a little bit bigger by having to go through his corridor. These are going to be shooting out arrows. This is going to be a spike pit you have to avoid, and then we will have rats bumping over here again, and that is what we're going to work on a little bit more today. So our change room function is working, let's go ahead and start with our starting room. So instead of, we want to go screen.bullet, and then we want to go self.image1, and then 0, 0. We want to put this here. So now instead of this, we will just put self.start room, and make sure that it's still working the correct way we want it to. And there we go. So now it is just like our other function. All we have to do is put the things that we want in the background here and everything like that. So the first thing I kind of want to do was add the background, finish putting functionality to the background in our starting room. So, I have these pictures already made. Oh, they're obstacles. So I got the top and the bottom. They're just the same picture. And we can, I'm not 100% sure how I want to do that, to tell you the truth. So I think that'll be a good place for today's video while I think on how I want to finish adding in everything. But thanks for watching, like and subscribe. Bye.